What's up, everybody? You're back in here with the Pro Football Pod. You've got Holt, Coach, Austin, and Harlow is in the back of Austin's screen giving a surprise guest appearance for us. Everybody wave and say hello to Harlow. Hi, Harlow. Subscribe down below. Help your friends, help your family. We're giving away jerseys out here with every 500 subscriber benchmark. Do it. We want to give stuff away. Help us help you.
We're like halfway there too, so like
we're getting there. We're getting there, guys. Hey, we got the Cowboys today. 7-round mock draft, off-season preview. Let's go ahead and make this team better. Austin, we saved this episode specifically for you. So, we're going to put a lot on your shoulders with this one. We hope you can make the right decisions.
I will say, if we would have done it without Austin, I think we would have been able to build a really great Cowboys team. But I think that Austin's not going to totally fuck this up.
That tells me he's saying Austin's going to fuck this up.
No, he's not. He's not going to totally fuck this up. You've got this. I think we would have done solid for the boys, but.
Oh, I'm going to let you veto me on every pick.
Yeah, this is your team, brother.
If it comes out and people want to jump in our comments about if the picks are terrible, you guys come straight at Austin.
Yeah.
He wants all of the smoke. All right, let's go ahead and start this beast.
Trading up, something we discussed.
Before we really get into it, though, we do need to make a note. Brian Schottenheimer, new head coach for the Dallas Cowboys.
Wait, head coach?
They brought in Javonte Williams. Yeah, new head coach.
Oh, nice. What did he ever do in his career?
He was the offensive coordinator.
Okay.
Javonte Williams at running back was brought in. They re-signed Osa Odigizua at defensive interior, brought back Dante Fowler Jr., and then they brought over Robert Jones as some depth piece at guard for him over from Miami. Lost Brandon Cooks, but he's an aging wide receiver. DeMarcus Lawrence was a big hit, but let's be honest, he's an aging edge rusher as well. Same with Jordan Lewis at corner, and Rico Dowell was kind of a surprise, but I mean, not really. Like, what he gave you last year was, to me, like the ceiling of what you could expect.
Absolute ceiling, and that's not enough.
So, yeah, I mean, we talked about it before. We like the needs that we see on this team here, and let's go ahead and see what we can do with it.
So, do we want me to slow it down and trade up potentially, or just let's see what's available at 12? I think that's the...
You just ride it out.
All right.
Yeah, I see what's available. Let's see what's available, just because.
So Tyler Warren's there. Let's see.
That's a spicy pick. With what you told me before the podcast, and with what's there,
I mean, Jake Ferguson's 26.
I would definitely go Mike Green here, just based off of who I like the most on the board and our biggest need.
Yeah, it's either Mike Green or Kenneth Grant, but Mike Green being here at 12 to me is an absolute steal. Now, if Josh Simmons didn't have the injury concerns, I would be tempted for him just because he is an athlete at offensive tackle.
Yeah.
And like when he's on the field, his tape, mesmerizing. It's just nobody knows about the extent of his injury except for the people at Ohio State, and they're not saying a word.
The other thing is that he's not a very versatile. He's kind of only played tackle in his career. Guard being their biggest need. They're not going to replace Tyler Guyton after one season. They're going to give him some time. Even though it's a new coaching staff, like you have to. You don't spend first-round capital last year and then totally throw him to the wayside unless he's that trash, which I don't think he is.
Yeah. So I agree. I like Mike Green right here. Him and Micah Parsons would just be one of the most athletic duos at edge in the whole league.
Yep. So Mike Green at 12. We're not going to pick again until 44, and we are on the clock. Now, we talked wide receiver being a potential need.
Dude,
Jaden Higgins
we've done it in like 4 mock drafts at this point, but it's one of those to me, like, Jaden Higgins is kind of, for a second-round pick, he can plug into any offense. He's going to complement CD because CD does work a lot of the slot work. Kind of gives you that Keenan Allen role, whereas Jaden would be the guy on the outside, just to the tall body, take the top off. I like him there. JT Tuamalo from Ohio State. He's listed as an edge, but I do think he gives you some interior versatility as well.
Yeah.
So
Caleb Johnson and Dylan Sampson as well. Cam Scatterbo's there. They're all going to be gone by the time we pick again at 76. So if
It's
we're
definitely between a receiver and running back.
and
Higher
for
on the running
me,
back, I feel like.
I think Jaden Higgins is the best player
when you look at
offensively on the
what
board.
wide receivers will be available later versus what running backs will be available later, I like the running back depth way more than I like. Hey,
I agree
Kyle
with you
Williams
there.
moving up the PFF board
Yeah,
here.
seriously. They have
He
his
was like our
ADP really
fifth
low.
round darling.
We love taking him in the fifth. But we could get Trey Harris probably. Um, I like Trey Harris
I would
there.
love
Maybe
I would love we get a
Jalen
solid running back
Noel
and then
and or
Harris.
Xavier Restrepo would be solid too. So I mean, right here, then
The who I would personally go with would probably be Caleb Johnson.
Agreed. He's your
yeah,
best 3 down back. That's a pure
the
rushing
all
specialist.
around guy.
Yeah.
Like they
Monster.
loved Ezekiel Elliott, and I think
Where
this guy is, athleticism wise, I'd put him like one notch below.
when did Omarion go? Because that would have been my perfect
Yeah,
draft one
Omarion
He's
two.
probably
first
went in the
round now.
first.
He's
Really?
going at the end of the
Wow.
first. Yeah.
So if they could trade up for him, I really wouldn't mind that. For those 1-2, the edge and a running back.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that Caleb Johnson, because Amorion is my he's super high up on my board as well. He was easily my number 2, only behind Ashton Genty because of the season that he had. I still think that
Mhm.
Amorion's a better prospect of a runner. I think that his ceiling could potentially be higher. Ashton did what he did, and it's hard to discount him. But I love watching Amorion run the football. Caleb Johnson's easily my third, though.
I had Caleb Johnson as my number 2 running back all season long, and I
Yep.
never moved off of it.
So is that what we're doing? We're gonna draft him and see what's there at round 3. Looks good.
Caleb.
So now looking wide receiver, Jalen Royals, who people have been hating on this guy.
I like Jalen Royals a lot.
Yeah,
Like,
I
yeah,
would
it's
rather.
Utah State, but the guy was he was basically all they had,
He's got
and it
glue for
didn't
hands.
stop anybody from shutting him down. I also really Trey Harris being there. To me, Trey Harris, I don't feel like he would complement CD as well as Jalen Royals or Jalen Noel would.
Yeah.
I like Kyle Williams. I like his game a lot. But again, whenever I'm looking at building a wide receiver room, I look at it as building a basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
I want guys that are of different builds, different skill sets. So that's where I look at Jalen Royals or Jalen Noel right here. But while we're on it, just to look at it, what's the defensive interior and offensive interior looking like right here?
So Tate Ratledge is there, which is big time. Right guard, especially that's Robert Jones isn't going to give up his spot to Tate Ratledge the first week, but I think by week 8 or 9, he'll have shown what he's capable of, and Tate Ratledge could potentially be pushing him. We've been pretty big on Vernon as well.
Broughton,
Not as
Jordan
much.
Farmer from Florida State, like him. So
now Jared Wilson is here. What's going to be
there's
there
a
later?
big gap before we pick again.
Yeah, and all these guys are going to be gone. Luke Kandra could potentially be there for us when we pick the next time. Simeon Barrow, which is
we
big
like
body, nice plug, but also nice and athletic. Tyler Cooper, we've been a little bit high on. That would be right in between the next 2 picks. He could be there. So, what do we think, Austin?
Okay.
Is it time to go wide receiver? Because, I mean, after this pick, wide receivers are going to fall off so heavy. Tez Johnson might be there for you. Torrey Horton.
Yeah,
these guys aren't starters.
I think if you're going to take a wide receiver, it would have to be right here. Austin, did you freeze? Okay, there you go.
He's back. So what are we thinking?
You're muted.
In the beginning, before I couldn't hear y'all, you were trying to sell me on these other receivers, but I just can't move away from Trey Harris as an athlete.
Okay. Yeah, all we were really saying is that Jalen Noel,
No, I heard all
Yeah, okay,
that.
okay, good. So
I was
I love
almost
Trey
sold.
Harris too. He was one of my top 3 or top 4 in the total class, and a lot of receivers have already gone. So like I love adding
I
him,
like Trey Harris. To me, I think him and CD are very similar in their skill sets,
which gives you the
which isn't
ability.
always a bad
Yeah,
thing.
because you still have
They're
Jalen
both just
Tolbert.
straight athletes. Like that's how I look at it.
You could put Tolbert at the slot at that point, and then have CD and Trey Harris at the one
Yeah.
two. Tolbert's a solid slot receiver.
They still have Turpin also.
Yes, that's a good point.
So
So
okay,
yeah, Trey
yeah,
Harris.
let's take Trey Harris.
I think that gives them the most physical receiver on their team as well.
Man,
Um,
yeah, Kyle Williams still being here is ridiculous.
yep, they're just
All
they
right, so
interior
offensive
offensive and
interior, defensive interior.
so Seth McLaughlin, center, his whole career, not really a lot of guard work. But between
Which
him and
it
BB,
would
BB was a
allow
guard.
Cooper Beebe to switch back to guard like he was coming out of Kansas State.
Now we like Luke Handra a lot. He's played a lot of right guard, which is exactly the position we need. Ty Robinson, it's not something we really like looked at too much um, from the Corn Huskers, but he's a pretty versatile player. He's kind of played a little bit all over the line. Definitely more B gap than anything, but man, you gotta love that pass rush win rate at defensive interior.
Mm-hmm.
ADP is a bit off. He
We
might
pick
even
again
be
at
there.
174.
Yeah.
Tyler Cooper might be there for us. Me just throwing my 2 cents out there. I think take Seth McLaughlin to allow Cooper Beebe to move back to right guard.
Yeah, it's probably the best decision. This isn't the most exciting pick, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we are in the 5th round, but this is a potential starter for your team again deeper into the season. It's not going to be training camp starter most of the time. They'll have to get used to like the competition, but I mean, the reality is Robert Jones has had 4 years of degrading as a player. He's gotten worse and worse every single year.
Yeah, he was solid in spot duty, but like you're not asking him to start every week for you.
No.
So yeah, to me it's Seth McLaughlin or Luke Kandra right here, and you just roll with it. So who's the pick, Austin?
Seth McLaughlin.
McGlocky.
Now, at this point, just going into the picks we have made, we took Edge at 12, took running back at 44, took wide receiver at 76, and took offensive line center at 149. So we haven't really touched the defensive interior. And at this point, we're probably not going to find a player that's going to start over Mozzie Smith, but at least
Ty
somebody that
Robinson
could push
is
them.
still there for us.
Yeah. But I do think defensive interior is our biggest need. I think it's not worth not looking at corner at all, seeing what's there. But like, it's definitely not a huge need. Deron Bland has had such a great couple seasons, and then Diggs got hurt last year. But before that, he was trending to be top 5, top 10 corner in the league potentially. So yeah, defensive interior. They still think it's a little bit early for Ty Robinson. The community likes him a lot less than like his rank, but Tonka Hemingway is there as well. Another player we really haven't looked at too much. A little bit more of an athletic defensive interior.
It's a little early for Tonka as well.
Yeah.
So defensive
be there at
interior,
204 though.
yeah, I'd say let's roll with Ty. I like what we're seeing out of him. Especially here in the 5th round. At this point, from here on out in the draft, you're just building depth.
Had a solid game against Colorado and Ohio State, as well as Purdue, UCLA.
His best games were against the best competition.
Yeah.
Like outside of Iowa.
Exactly. I was going to say Iowa, but they probably just ran all over him with that freaking offensive line. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ty Robinson, Austin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be happy with some Ty.
All right, on the clock again. We pick at 204, and then again, they have a lot of 6th and 7th round picks. Like we got 5 picks to build out some depth. I think we start looking at best players available.
Oh, snap. Austin's guy, Andrew Armstrong,
What the
sitting right there
fuck?
for him.
Yeah, what do you know?
Get him.
PFF finally has
Get
him
'em!
draftable now.
You see,
now,
I
okay,
wasn't
I
bullshitting.
was looking at him
I
or
wasn't
Sam
BSing.
Brown from Miami. Both of them, I think, are just at this point in the draft, you're just getting possible playmakers on your team.
Give me some double A.
To me, getting a guy like a third safety would also make sense. Somebody that can play in the box for you.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of looking at.
I know RJ Mickens has a lot of slot work. He can play in the box for you a little bit.
Yeah, he's kind of played everywhere that you would want someone to play from that position. Hancock's the same, and he has a lot of slot work. Like that's kind of where he's been getting his bread and butter. He had a really bad 2022 because of injury. 6'1", 195, shows some athleticism. We've talked about Craig Woodson in the past from Cal.
Mm-hmm.
This guy looks like an athlete.
He's just all around solid. He's giving you slot work.
I mean, look what he did against Miami. And, I mean, who cares about the FSU? But, like, what he did against Miami shows a lot. Like, for how good their offense was, for him to be able to, like, have that type of a game is very impressive.
Yeah, I like Craig Woodson a lot.
Yeah, I think that he's who I would go as well. And then take Andrew Armstrong or Sam Brown at the next pick because we're picking in like 6 picks. 7.
Yeah, if that's possible, I don't mind that.
Okay.
Andrew Armstrong goes with the next pick.
No, he's there.
No, he's still there.
Perfect.
All right, take his guy. Do it for him. Give him the Kmart CD.
At that point, if Trey Harris doesn't work out, like you do have a backup plan that you took in the 6th round. So that's awesome. Now we're at the top of the 7th round. We have 3 picks in the 7th round.
I've been kind of eyeballing Jason Marshall.
Agreed.
Not the best grades, but he does give you some versatility and depth at corner.
Love me a Florida boy. Jimmy Horn.
People are
we ain't looking at Jimmy Horn.
No.
He's all right.
We've taken 2 wide receivers. I think
we're good on the receivers.
So yeah, Jason Marshall, that's an easy pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're building depth here. That's what we're doing for the team. That's what we're doing for the culture. And the board doesn't move very much for us here just because we're going so quick. That's what you just hovered over is very intriguing.
That's what I was looking. I didn't think that we took a tight end.
We haven't taken a tight end, but he is more of a chess piece, not necessarily. Because 6'3", 236, like
6'5", 236.
You're not asking him to block for you.
Mm-mm. I think we take him, and then with our last pick, we take Smail Munden.
I like some Smail
Munden over
Jalen
Walker.
I mean, Jalen Walker's gone.
That's a different Jalen Walker, but yes.
Yeah, Jalen Walker is gone.
It's a good name.
So, Aronde Gatson?
Yeah, love that pick.
And then a little bit of Schmale with one of the last picks in the draft.
Just building depth.
Phil Maffa
getting that
would have been a nasty
Georgia.
Way to end the draft,
I'm always interested to see who they said we should have taken instead.
We should have taken Trey Amos.
Yeah, okay. Shut up, PFF. We're not doing that. Mike Green, they loved the Trey Harris pick. Seth McLaughlin, they were a fan
Craig
of.
Woodson.
They loved the Craig Woodson and the Jason Marshall pick.
Yep.
They weren't mad at the Andrew Armstrong pick. I'm really glad to see PFF has him on their draftable board now.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like
this is the first time in all our mock drafts I've even seen him be available.
Literally. And he should have been available to like every one of our drafts.
They waited for Austin to come back to add him to the draft database. We appreciate it, PFF. We thank you. Hey, guys, we thank you. Thank you for being here with us. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already so we can go ahead and try to give out jerseys to people. TulsiRoseTea.com is the sponsor. Stay tuned for the rest of our videos coming out this week. We love you guys. Peace out.